This video is going to be talking about the first month of 2020 on YouTube for me personally. It's been a wild ride. Like, I can't say that it hasn't been. We started the month off hitting 1,000 subscribers, which is like massive. Thank you to everyone that was a part of the push. I'm assuming the reason we got such great views at that point in time and the numbers and subs came through is mainly because it was the Christmas holiday sort of time. So a lot of people actually had a lot more time to view content online and stuff. And thankfully, because of that, it means that I've gained a whole bunch of new people to have this conversation with. And that's great. The things that I find frustrating about YouTube, straight off the bat, I always wanted this channel just to be a personality channel. Even if I am talking about reviews and all of that kind of thing, movies and TV, even music, it's still just my opinion and my personal views and thoughts and feelings on these things, which is fine. The only frustration that I feel when I put some of these things online is people don't seem to take it with a grain of salt. People really crucify you by the cross. Like, whatever you say in that video is that. There's no room for extra thought. Even if I present what I'm saying in a sarcastic manner, a lot of people don't seem to pick up on that. This channel and who I am in general, on the one side of things, am one of the most serious, sensitive people you will ever meet when it comes to myself. Everything else, however, I really couldn't care about. And even from myself, the way I interact with the world is always from a point of non-seriousness. It's never too hard on. The effects of that may come back onto me quite heavily because of the way I think about things, but the way I think about things is heavily twisted and filtered by the fact that I have dyspraxia, which means I have to process things in a very different way to a lot of people. It also means my mind gets stuck in loops and goes round and round in circles. The best video on this channel currently has an audio problem and it haunts me every single day. I really want to upload the clean version of the audio now we have it, but at the same time, there's so much people just enjoying it for what it is that I don't think it affected the video that much. But it's going to keep me up every day thinking about it and if I should or shouldn't put on the right version. That's my thing to deal with. What I'm not happy about on this channel, and it doesn't really matter because we're at such a small point, is these people that obviously don't know that it's a small channel, they take a video like my Ray lightsaber video, and because they don't like what it's saying, because they don't like the content and they don't agree with the theory, they attack me. And that's a massive thing that I'm like, look, I'm not going to go forward and hold my tongue. If people want to attack me personally, you better be ready because I'm going to fucking abuse you. It's as simple as that. I am not going to allow a negative conversation. If you want to take a personal attack out on me or anyone else in the comments, I'm going to just have to get rid of you. It's as simple as that. There's no reason for people to act in the way that they do online other than the fact that they're online. There's a massive problem that I've had with everything I've ever had to deal with the fact that one of my biggest entries for a lot of people online happens to be battle rap, which means you're gonna have a huge audience that's used to being insulting and stuff. They see these peers insult each other all of the time, and they want to get in on that. So I already have to deal with that aspect of my audience interacting with new members of the audience and stuff. And one thing I'm happy about is most of the people that have stuck with me from anything that I've done over the time, be it music, battle rap, presenting, documentaries, all of that kind of stuff, is the ones that stick around are really nice people, and we have these great conversations, and we're building this great community, and I'm really happy about that. I'm just not happy with the fact that so much people want attention these days that they'll go to the negative to do it, and we see this across the board, not just in the way that people interact with one another, but hey, the way that brands or television interact with this new online audience. There's so much things these days that are pushed towards outrage just because they know that cancel culture won't stick, but the voice and the awareness that they get, be it good or bad, because there's no such thing as bad publicity, means that ultimately they are staying in the conversation. And I think this is becoming a way that people think is normal to interact with other people. If you look at the coronavirus currently, so much people are being racist to Asian people. Last week, you was all watching animes and wanting to be a Super Saiyan. You wanted to eat all of the food. You wanted to visit Tokyo. You wanted to go to X, Y, and Z. Shout out to the people that are pointing this out. And shout out to all of the Asians that are standing up to all of this racism in the face of adversity. Because it's a hard time. And look, I've said this for ages. Racism is no longer black and white, and it never has been black and white. But as far as historical history wants to show you, they focus it in on one small aspect. And when they do that, what happens is we alienate so much other races in the process, and that becomes the norm. There's so much casual racism towards so much people that aren't black, essentially. And yeah, you can say that the Arabs are finally getting it even more now and so on and so forth. But hey, what about all the times people casually do a Chinese joke or say they're going to the pea shop when they're referring to a brown person that might not even be from Pakistan? These kind of things that go on a day-to-day basis are just as not okay as any of the things that people still feel wound up about when they talk about slavery and racism in the past. The reason that black people are still annoyed about racism is because it still exists today. But guess what? If you still call it the chinky shop or something like that, or ever pulled your eyes like that or so on and so forth for a joke, you're part of the problem. And you don't get to fucking put your hands up and say, well, no, because I and my race was persecuted means that I can now be racist to other people. Reverse racism doesn't work against white people because of systematic racism. Racism still exists if you're racist to someone else because of their race. Right? It's as simple as that. Okay? I don't know why this got into a thing, but it's my point. People are so ready to be a part of the conversation these days that they don't worry about how damaging it is to other people. And look, I'm a massive believer. I am a South Park. Like, if you want to know what my religion and views on life are, they're South Park. Either everything's okay or none of it's okay. But the difference is between being offensive and performance art and having fun is the way that you carry yourself outside of that. If you, and I'm not saying, oh, look, you know, like a lot of people got wound up because Eminem mentioned Ariana Grande's situation, but then also a lot of people are like, well, he put money into the charities that are helping out these situations, so therefore he can say it. Look, I understand why that will rile people up, and I understand why people want to cancel Eminem, but the point in Eminem as a character is shock value performance art. It has always been that. So what I'm saying is, sometimes you need to be able to look at what the actual aspect is. And I'm not saying that, hey, because it's entertainment, we get to just get a free reign. But hey, the idea is, right? Dave Chappelle is a great example of this. He has said so much things that riled people up in his recent specials, okay? But at the same time, if you go and speak to him about these things, he'll tell you, you'll understand that he is not malicious in any of the thoughts. He may point out stereotypes and have fun, but the way he conducts himself as a person will not be that. The difference is these days, with so much people having any form of following, fans, etc., that everybody thinks that their voice and opinion matters, which it does. But the difference is that you are not really playing a character anymore. What people can't tell the difference between is you online and you in person, because they have no reference point as you as a person. Now, the difference is between people that get caught up for things that they say within the performance versus things that they say, you know, Twitter, great example with that ITV news anchor having to step down because of something he'd done in Twitter. Now, had he had done that within his day job on air, he would have instantly be fired. But he, fair enough, he's probably going to get fired anyway. He has taken it upon himself to say, you know what? That is outside of my character. I should never have said that. I am completely in the wrong. And to atone for that, I am going to step down from my job because it's in a position where I have to be representative for so much people and a good figurehead. That is responsibility. Is it wrong he said what he said? Yes, it is. But it's wrong because of where and when he done it. I'm not saying that within the bounds of music and stuff, you should be openly free to be homophobic or entertainment or any of this. But what I'm saying is, if it's part of the performance and part of the art, so on and so forth, then judge it in that moment. If it made you feel a horrible negative way, that's likely what the artist was trying to create. And if you had the time to sit down with them and talk about that subject on a bigger matter, you're going to understand that this person's fully capable and is writing from a perspective which shows you a side of the world that, while you may not like, still is there. Okay? And it's important to have that feeling. It's very important to have that feeling, because at the end of the day, I was watching Demolition Man last night, and I think it's a great example of that. If you censor everything, if we no longer even get angry about these things, right? If it gets to the point where we can just go, oh, no, that's fine, like, because we live in a world where everything's great, we'll no longer have the moral compass to actually call out things that are bad, right? That's just my view on it. They got to a point in that movie where the police, like, don't even carry guns or do anything because they assume that, oh no, we made the world okay. Guess what? You're never going to make the world completely PC friendly. That's never going to happen. So what we need to do as people is get better at how we take on offense, how we look at things, and how we react towards these things. Because a lot of the time in this cancelled culture environment is people aren't actually getting cancelled, and then they're out few months later doing the same thing. And then a lot of the time, some of the people that did get cancelled, it comes out much later down the line that someone actually used that situation to get someone in trouble when they weren't even the wrong one. And meanwhile, you got someone like Harvey Weinstein settling out of court. That's my sort of point, right? It was originally just to start off saying, look, I'm really on board with, like, you know, I'm so happy for every piece of interaction I'm getting with the internet, and thanks. And, you know, it's, if I'm going to put myself in this position, I've got to be ready to take it on board. What I'm just saying is, think about how you interact with people. You don't need to be a part of the conversation if all you're going to add is something horrible. If you literally can't look at something and go, you know what, that's not for me, I'm going to go about and live my life. If you are at a point where something isn't for you and you have to go out of your way to drag someone down and say this was shit or da-da-da-da-da, just remember, this little pocket of the internet is my own. You chose to come here. Fuck off if you don't like it. Like, it's as simple as that. I'm not going to be rude to you. If you want to tell me why you didn't like it, that's completely fine. But if you don't like something and your instant reaction is to then attack whatever, be that the company. Currently, Birds of Prey is getting loads of toxic masculinity trying to take it down, but the reviews are good. Look, there's no reason that you need... How do I say this without being offensive? If your life is so morally bankrupt that you need to just be a dickhead in order to get someone to talk to you, maybe change your approach in the way that you do things. It's something that I've had to do. Guess what? Not being inflammatory usually means that you can connect with people on a basic level, because most human beings are fairly decent. Most of you are. I started off saying this has been a month on YouTube, but it's sort of tied into other stuff that I see. It's a basic mentality online. And I don't fully agree with it. I really don't agree with it. And hopefully there's enough people out there that agree, that are going to roll with me, you know? Like, I want you on board 100%. And I'd love to have arguments about the subject matter, but what I'm not going to do is have an argument with you because you've insulted me. Is that fair enough? Let's end this video on some massive positives, yeah? We had over 1 million watch minutes this month. That in itself is like 1 million, like that's got to be more than a year in minutes, right? Like that's something crazy to me. I've got good work opportunities of staying consistent and people seeing my YouTube turn out. I think a lot of things that people that are new to me don't understand is that doing junkets and documentaries and stuff is the standard. This is my own personal little space. My day job I get paid for to present comes in when it does, and I enjoy it. I personally like taking as much time out of working for people to do stuff like this. So when you come along and you're just a fucking dickhead, that's where I take it personally. If it's something what I've got paid to do and so on and so forth, then whatever, I make my peace with it. And every piece of content I put out, I make my peace with it because I enjoy the content. But what I can't get my head around is people, look, I'm aware, I look like how I fucking look. I get reminded of that every time I leave the fucking house. It's a choice to have my hair like this. I enjoy my hair like this. I fucking love myself. If you want to make some comments about me being feminine, that's your own homophobia. If you want to make some comments about me looking like X, Y, and Z, messy, blah, 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 that's your own racism. Like, I can't help these fucking things. But what I can say is, if you don't like what you see, then disappear. If you don't like what you heard or what I'm saying, that's a different matter. You can talk to me about that all day long. My fucking door is open. Someone open the door in the background. Do you know what I mean? But other than that, kind of a ramble. They're always a ramble when it's a discussion. I'm massively thankful. I'm just really aware now that we're at a point in time where we can either create a positive space on the internet where we can still, I'm not saying we can't be offensive and have fun. I swear every fucking other word. And I'm really ignorant when it comes to being stupid and doing dumb humor. But that's a world away from who I am when I come online to log on and talk about something on someone's page. You know, that's when I suddenly become a regular human being. I don't know. I'm aware that this video is probably going to get a whole bunch more of people actually just having a go at me. But hey, if you can raise it in a way that creates a conversation and you have some valid reasons against why my way of thinking might not be correct, go for it. So yeah, end of the day, love yourself, innit?